I love to inspire people to step out of their comfort zone and do it if that's something they want, and don't be scared. I mean, I was terrified when I back in 2019 when I did my first trip. I went out to Birdsville, Big Red Bash.
Wow.
And my palms were sweating. I was so nervous as I was driving. All the places that people say have bad reputations, they're not really that bad. I think I've stayed at most of them. And it's really just about being a bit streetwise, lock things up, and maybe just get out of the main part of town and stay in the outskirts.
Welcome back to another episode of Big Lab Chats, and today we're taking a different tact and I'm interviewing a solo lady traveller, which is really good because I know that we have a lot of solo ladies travelling Australia in the audience. So welcome, Rose. This is Rose Pengilly.
Thank you.
From Cairns in Queensland at the moment.
At the moment. Home is where I'm.
Yeah. Have you got a home base as such?
I left my home base behind in Melbourne, but I
Okay.
really don't intend to go back there.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived in Sydney since I was 18, but moved to Melbourne for a job in 2022. But
Okay.
I was only there 18 months, and it's just too cold for me. I'm a hot weather person, so
Yeah.
I really did. And I knew before, but this trip has really made me see that I just can't live in cold. Like to visit, but
Yeah.
no, I need.
Yeah.
When I settle down and relocate, I'll be relocating to somewhere on the coast in the north.
I can relate to that, having just been through winter in the cold part of Australia. So, yeah.
I haven't had winter since August last year.
As Queenslanders, we find it pretty tough.
You're a Queenslander, are you?
Yeah, we're from Queensland. So what's your story and how did you get started and what is your setup? What do you travel in and tow or
Traveling in a motorhome.
a motorhome?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've had, this is my fourth van. Had my first van when I was in my 20s in the US. It was just an old combi van. And then in 2019, I bought a Hi-Ace. And then I just really did Christmas holidays and the odd weekend trip in that. And, I've always had that sort of desire to travel, but, work, you can't. And then I upgraded that in 2021 to a Ford Transit van. And then I did, again, it was just the holidays. And at that point, I'd kind of finished work at a job that I was in for 25 years. And I did a 3-month trip in that time. And that really made me, realize that 100% that I wanted to go make this a lifestyle and be able to go traveling full time, or at least a year and a half or so. I didn't necessarily think full time for a hugely extended period, but at least I wanted to do a lap. And then that also gave me the opportunity to fine tune what I wanted in a van, in my next van. So look at the non-negotiable list of things. And then I bought this in February 24.
Last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, cool. So what were your non-negotiables? What was on your list?
Well, because I wanted to go at least a year and I wanted to work online, I wanted to be comfortable. I wanted a shower and a toilet. I wanted good power, good water capacity. I wanted the ability to be able to cook inside and shut the door on bad weather and mosquitoes and bugs and things. Because once you're out of rural city areas, the bugs, you know what it's like. Yes, I think they were pretty much my list of non-negotiables. Big enough to be comfortable in and be able to sit at a table to eat and to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was about it.
Yeah. And obviously you've achieved that.
Yes, I did upgrade on the road. I upgraded my water tank from 45 litres to 200.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I did before I even left home was upgrade my batteries from AGMs to lithium.
Yep.
I've got a really good inverter, so I've got toasters and kettles and induction cooktop and heaps of things that are electrical, plus Starlink chews a fair bit of power as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I would like better quality solar panels, but maybe that could be my next upgrade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. And what's the most common question you get asked as a lady traveling by herself?
Do you feel safe? You haven't had any problems? Do you feel safe? Do you free camp? That's probably it. And what do you do if you break down, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever broken down?
I haven't. I had an issue that it wasn't really a breakdown in the end when I worked out what it was, but to me at the time, and NRMA couldn't work it out. They thought it was limp mode, and I ended up having to get it towed from Bundaberg down to Maryborough, in Queensland. But it turned out to be a simple thing of cruise control being stuck on.
No. Uh,
Nobody could work it out. They were putting OBD readers on it and everything, and there was no faults because there was nothing wrong. But it had just, but I think there had to be something wrong because it just would come on for no reason. One minute I'd be going 80 k's an hour, and then it always happened when I was slowing down for a roundabout. I'd be doing 80, I'd slow down for a roundabout or a stop sign coming into smaller towns, and
Yep.
then it wouldn't go over 30 or 40 k's an hour.
Oh,
And that just kept,
how annoying.
and it literally, and there'd be noises happening, flashing on the things, flashing on the dashboard and noises, and I couldn't see what was going on. You know, you're worried about traffic behind and beside.
Mm.
I couldn't identify what the cause was. And then after a while, if I'd stop, give it 10 minutes, start again, it would be fine till the next
Gosh.
day or the next week. And you never knew when it would
Yeah.
happen. And anyway, after about a month, I guess, I took it in for a service in Brisbane and they
Mhm.
fixed it. They didn't know what they did, but it went away. And it hasn't happened since. And that was last October, I guess.
Oh, that's good. They probably hit that reset button that, that magic button where
Yes,
you reset something and it all of a sudden it works.
yes. But now I'm scared to even touch cruise control. I just
Yeah,
don't go there.
I don't blame you.
I've had as well, you know, seriously um, hit a spike or something and ripped my tyre completely.
Oh, right.
I ended up having to
Yep.
spend the night on the road that night.
Oh, wow. Did you find people stopping and helping you?
No. That time,
No.
I was really surprised actually. I was on a road out to Lake Proserpine, and it was one of
Yep.
those roads, it's just no through road. It was just local
Mhm.
traffic only, the farmers and people going to that campsite. And I could see the campsite across the way, and I got a flat tire and I had to call. I physically couldn't change it because my tire was underneath the van, and massive van.
Oh, yeah.
So I've since had that removed and put out on the back like the caravans have. Whilst I was waiting on NRMA, about 4 local utes went past, farmers, not one blokes, not one of them stopped. A lady with a dog and a kid stopped to ask if they could help. That was it. But NRMA came, this happened around 3. At 9 o'clock, they'd finished it. So I reckon it took him about 45 minutes to change. Now,
Gosh.
I've had the tyres swapped out before that, and it would
Mhm.
only take him 15 minutes. So this guy clearly wasn't 100% competent in doing this sort of job. By the time he left, I'd had the hazard flashes going the whole time because it was on a narrow road. My battery was
Yep.
flat.
Oh,
So I had to sleep on the side of the road that night.
oh gosh.
Wasn't stressed about it. I felt completely comfortable.
Mhm.
It was just, and I'm a bit of a stress head when it comes to being stranded, but I just felt it it couldn't have happened in a better place, just where I was.
Yep.
But yeah.
I know the roads that you're talking about because we've been out to Lake Proserpine,
Right.
and they're those, like, one-lane bitumen, aren't they?
It
The
was 2
skinny
lanes,
s
but quite
Okay.
narrow and no shoulder.
Yeah.
So I had to drive
Oh, boy.
once it happened, and it happened, like, quick. It
Mm.
sounded like I hit one of those cattle grates, and it was just, like, this huge high-pitched metal noise, and then
Right.
I could smell the rubber and see what it was like
What was going on?
and I had to drive for maybe a kilometre and a half before I could actually get off the road.
Yeah.
I
Gosh.
think it was an
Oh,
embankment or something. There was some reason why I couldn't pull over before that
yeah.
to be able to get off the road safely. I was about a K and a
Yeah.
half or so to drive.
And what about around safety? Have you ever felt unsafe on the road?
Never, never.
Mm.
And I do free camp a fair bit when I can, depending on the places. But I've never
Yeah.
ever felt unsafe.
I mean, there always tends to be other people around anyway,
Mm.
doesn't there?
I've always kind of travelled at the off peak of most areas, and I
Mhm.
just haven't. There's always been enough people around. I've not
Yeah.
been anywhere in the real opposite to the peak, sort of dead time when no one travels in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been. I've felt 100% fine, and I'm excited for the next lap now.
Yeah. That's great. What do you think one thing most women, or I shouldn't say women, I should say solo travelers overlook that could make or break their journey around Australia?
I think one thing is not being aware of public holidays
Yes.
in the state that you're in, and coming into busy periods where you've got to book way in advance. I mean, some places you literally have to book 3 months in advance, and or you can't get in. Um, Also, be aware of events that may happen in the area, rodeos or festivals, where all the places of caravan parks are full up. Um,
Yes.
they're the two main ones that spring to mind.
Yeah.
And insurance,
Yeah.
and not having good insurance,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
also the distance between towns in some areas with fuel. I remember talking to one lady, it was around the Nullarbor, some sort of area, and she completely misjudged where the fuel was and got into trouble. And I can't remember if she ran out or she was very, very stressed over it anyway, just because she hadn't taken that into account. And the fact too that some petrol stations in remote areas run out of fuel in busy times.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Diesel in particular, I think, because that seems to be the largest volume of fuel sold
Yes, because it's not
these days
vans, it's the
in remote areas.
and
Yeah, that's true. I'm just trying to think. There was something else I wanted to ask you around safety. Mm, nope, gone. It'll come back to me. What's your secret to finding the most breathtaking yet under the radar destinations on your
wiki
trip?
camps. Wiki camps and
Mhm.
just talking to other travelers and Facebook groups. But I think I get a lot of stuff off Facebook groups where, you're reading ahead and it might be for the other side of the country, but I'll flag them in my maps and put a little description of who told me what and what's there. And if when I'm in the area, I always look at that. But also wiki camps, that point of interest thing. And yeah, locals and travelers. You find out so much from just talking to other people that are ahead of you or behind you or that have.
Been where you've been, or going,
Yeah,
I should say.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true. Are you surprised at the amount of solo travellers on the road? Or I gather you're definitely in the minority when it comes to couples or families.
To be honest, I haven't met many solo.
Okay.
Don't know where they hang out, but I don't know. I reckon I can count them on the fingers of my hand, the people I've actually had a conversation with. I've seen a few more just, women driving down the road solo, but in terms of actually meeting, I haven't met many.
Oh, wow.
It's
Okay.
usually
Maybe after this you will.
yes. I chat to a lot on Facebook,
Yeah.
either want to do it. It's more the people that want to do it because I love to inspire people to step out of their comfort zone and do it if that's something they want, and don't be scared. I mean, I was terrified when back in 2019 when I did my first trip. I went out to Birdsville, Big Red Bash.
Wow. Mhm.
My palms were sweating. I was so nervous as I was driving. But I chose a festival, and there was loads of people. Like once I got into the first day of travel, I just saw so many people on the road that were all going to the same place, and
Yeah.
nerves kind of calmed down a bit then. But I was scared. But I say just cut the fear and just do it anyway.
Yeah, for sure. So, another question I'd imagine that you get asked is, don't you find it a bit lonely by yourself, traveling by yourself?
I don't at all. I meet a lot of people. Plus, when most people would be maybe bored or alone, I'm working. So I'm
Yeah.
either busy working or I'm talking to people through work. I'm talking to people interested in what I do. I'm talking to someone on Facebook. I'm talking to somebody in our community or friends back home. I've
Yeah.
literally never been lonely, and I've been on the road 17, almost 18 months.
And I think it helps if you're on the extroverted side rather than introverted too, isn't it? Have a chat to someone.
Yeah, I mean, I'll chat to anyone. I don't tend to meet a
Yeah.
lot of people because I am working. I feel like I
Mhm.
do keep to myself a bit, but I'm always up for a chat as well. It's not that I don't want to talk to people, and I do,
Yep.
but I don't actively seek it often. That when I'm home, I'm either out doing things, exploring, yes, meeting people, or I'm home and focused.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
So you work from home. You can work anywhere.
yeah, I've got Starlink, and I can literally work on the side of a mountain if I'm by the beach or anywhere I want,
Yeah.
or go to a cafe and sit and work on Wi-Fi or whatever.
I think the worst place we've had for using Starlink was in the Daintree, but
Wow.
there's so many trees there.
Yes, I've started to learn if I'm in national parks or somewhere that I know is fairly tree heavy, I ask for a Starlink, what's the word?
Friendly.
Starlink friendly site. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Where we are at the moment is heavily treed as well, but we've started laying because we've got the old Gen 2 Starlink.
Yep.
So we just lay it flat rather than point it to south.
Oh, yeah.
And it works quite well.
Oh, okay.
Have you got a favourite free camp that you would go back to?
So many. So many. Oh my goodness. Oh, off the top of my head, there was
Hey, it's Annette from Big Lab Chats. Want the inside scoop on where our guests free camp? You'll only hear it in the extended cut inside the BLC crew. Jump in now at blccrew.allaroundoz.com.au or hit the link in the show notes. Now, let's get back to the episode. How long do you generally stay in a free camp?
maybe 1 or 2 nights.
Yeah.
Most of them are 72 hours maximum or 48 hours maximum. But yeah,
Mm.
I think 2 to 3 nights would be the most I've ever stayed in a free camp. And it's generally just a stopover
Overnight.
on when I'm going longer distance.
Before you left, and if you had a bucket list, have you ticked any items off your bucket list yet?
I've ticked off more than what I had.
Yeah.
The bucket list was growing as I traveled. There's places that I'd never even heard of that once I got on the road added to the bucket list, like Caravanning
Mhm.
and um, horizontal falls. I've swum with the whale sharks. I went out on an ocean swim out of Cairns last year with Dawn Fraser and a whole bunch of people that were
Oh,
doing
wow.
and that was a result of breaking down. I met up with somebody I knew that I hadn't seen for 10 years, and she invited me to go as support crew on this boat, and it was an ocean swim for 1K and 5Ks, and 1K, 2Ks and 5Ks, I think. Maybe I've got those distances wrong, but she was doing the shorter version, her husband was doing the next version, and then there was the professionals that were doing another one. And yeah, Dawn Fraser was there handing out awards and stuff, and it was just incredible. And I got to snorkel and stuff while they were all swimming, and there was loads of spectators as well. But yeah, it was a really good
Yeah.
and good food, and yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh,
Something I would never have
yeah.
done ever had I not broken down and met that person I knew.
Sometimes that adversity turns into something really good, hey?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. What are the 3 biggest money-saving hacks that you could share?
Ooh. The fuel app.
Mhm.
The fuel app saved me so much going across the Nullarbor. So I was able to look at the prices and plan ahead. And sometimes it might be just a matter of putting 10 or 20 litres in to get you to bypass that expensive place to get to the next cheap one. And sometimes fuel prices can vary 20, 40 cents a litre in
Yeah.
those sort of remote sort of areas. The same with Broome, from Broome up to Cygnet Bay. The price, I think, in Lombardina versus the very top, whatever that's called, where the pearl farm is, that was 20 or 30 cents a difference. The top one was cheaper than Lombardina, and I would have thought it was the other way around because the top one was further
Yeah,
away.
more remote.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, I use that. That would be one, buy your food in bulk in the bigger towns at Woolies or Coles or whatever, rather than the cheap little, the expensive little roadhouses and stuff. Same with alcohol. Definitely, you can save a lot of money by buying that in bulk. Sometimes I'll buy like a month's worth, and I really don't drink that much. And I'm drinking a lot less now than I ever used to at home. Yeah. And that's not because of I want to saving money. It's just because I don't need it. I don't, I'm just happy having a glass of water.
Yeah.
So I'm into drinking alone, and even though I did at home, but yeah, I just buy 6 bottles of wine or something that might last me 2 months now. Just stock up as much as you're prepared to carry when you're in those remote places because it's just so much more expensive.
Yeah.
Same with meat and all of that sort of stuff. And I guess the other one too is that people may overlook is the speed you go. Uses a lot more fuel than if you're sticking under that. I think it's around 90 sort of mark. Your vehicles consume a
Yep.
lot less. I think they're the main ones that come to mind.
That's great. Thanks. What's the biggest myth about traveling Australia that needs to be busted, do you
Oh,
think?
yes. The Nullarbor is not boring. Don't let anyone tell you the
No.
Nullarbor is boring. I seriously wanted to turn around and do it again when I got to the end because there's so much I didn't see. So many places that I would have
Same.
loved to have stopped at that didn't.
Mm.
Um, all the places that people say have bad reputations, they're not really that bad. I think I've stayed at most of them. And it's really just about being a bit streetwise, lock things up, and maybe just get out of the main part of town and stay in the outskirts, depending on the place. But really, they're not as bad as people say.
I agree wholeheartedly with that.
The road from Perth to Broome isn't boring. I've had friends that have done it and said, "Oh my God, it's so boring that stretch."
We've only been as far as Geraldton down, but I wouldn't call that boring at all. I think it's a beautiful coastline and beautiful scenery through there.
Yes. From Geraldton up is absolutely stunning, and there are so many places to stop along the way, both free
Mhm.
camps, just points of interest, photography spots. There's so much, so much.
Yeah. Do you have a certain routine? I'm going to ask you how you stay connected and productive on the road without sacrificing the other side of things, which is the adventure of what you're actually doing, travelling and seeing Australia. How do you balance that? Want the inside scoop on Australia's best free camps and hidden gems? BLC crew members get the extended cut out of every episode, plus bonus content and tips you won't find anywhere else. Jump in at the blccrew.allaroundoz.com.au.
Yeah, it's a juggle, but I've learnt to really slow down and not miss stuff. If I need to work, if I need to catch up on admin, I just take some time out, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm about to go up to the Cape, and I've just got a week of just catching up, doing some work, stockpiling, catching up on all the admin and the trip planning. 'Cause trip planning as a solo it's time consuming. You don't have
I bet.
you don't have a passenger to find out the cheapest fuel and look at that place to stay and what haven't I missed. So yeah, just a bit of planning and just relaxing after traveling across from WA from Perth. I did Broome to here in about 5 weeks, I think it was.
Yep.
So yeah, just chilling out. I've got a few friends that live in the area, just catching up with people, and
Cool.
but yeah, I started off doing 400-500 k's a day, and now
Wow.
I'm not. I learned off a friend that it's okay to do 20 k's. It really is okay to do 20 k's if that's where you want to stay. You you don't need to do big days. I missed a lot in the start because I was doing big days, and thinking that's how I had to go.
We were the same. Gosh, it took us, oh, I reckon 6 to 9 months to really slow down. Like,
I was about
not to the point where we were staying months in places, but, you know, we don't that, and I think I say it every episode, that travel fatigue is real.
it is real.
So if you're packing up and setting up and driving every couple of days,
Yes.
A, you don't see much, and B, it's so time consuming, and then you're not doing actually what you set out to do.
Exactly.
So
That's almost
yeah,
2 hours out of your life each day, packing up and setting up.
yes.
I've really learnt to slow down.
Are you on a certain timeline or no?
Not anymore.
Indefinite?
When I left, I had a cat that I left behind with a friend in the building that I used to live in, and sadly he
Mhm.
passed away in January this year.
Mm.
So he
Mhm.
was my time limit, but no longer. So I'm free to take as long as I want, and I reckon I will travel at least another year, if not 2.
Yep. Yeah.
Probably 2
And
realistically to
yes.
to do what I wanna do and not
Yep.
rush. Yes.
So you're heading up to the tip. How are you preparing your motorhome, say,
I'm
for?
I found a lovely caravan park in Cairns that stores them, so
Mhm.
I'm going on an organised tour because I can't take my vehicle up there.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't quite sure if it was off-road worthy
No,
or not.
no,
Yeah,
it's got about 6 inches of clearance.
okay, that's not
Yep.
much.
No, so
Uh,
definitely not. So I denied about that for quite some time. When I was up this way before, I wanted to do it, but then it was so expensive, and I don't know, I think I missed the timing as well with the seasons, and I've done so many experiences since then. I'm okay with spending money now. So I
yeah,
was being a bit more cautious with what I spent money on back then.
yeah, fair enough too. You just never know, do you?
No.
I always think it's a good idea to have some sort of talk to people and say, have a contingency fund for those in case moments that probably will never happen, but at least you've got some sort of backup to
Mm,
rely on, especially for younger couples as well.
yeah. Yeah, but I've done horizontal falls too, I did the luxury overnight version, which was just absolutely
I,
amazing. It was so
I,
stunning.
s- I
And again, I stressed over the money and it's like, shouldn't I? But it's like, you only have one life. It's like, I'm here.
that's right.
It's there. And yeah, no, I did it. It was fabulous.
Yeah, cool. That's on our bucket list for sure.
Definitely do it.
Yeah, we will. We just have to work out the seasons for it and tie it into what we're doing next year. Can't wait to do that one.
It's one I'd never heard of until I hit the road.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I didn't know much about WA and Northern Territory and that top western side, really, and just
Mm,
learning as I go.
yeah. Have you been up to Darwin?
Not this time. I've
Yeah.
been there before many years ago,
Yep.
but it'll be in my next lap. So I was on
Mhm.
in a hurry to get to an event over here when I was coming
Ah, right.
across. So I didn't want to take the time. I wanted to spend more time there. So I just thought I want to do Kakadu and Catherine and all of that area. I'd love, I need a couple of months.
Yep. Definitely. What's one tip that saved your bacon on the road that you rarely see shared online?
Insurance. I mean, I think it's really important to have good vehicle insurance. For me, I think good water, good quantity of water to be able to not worry if something goes wrong. Like that day that I broke down on the side of the road, I could jump in the back and have a shower.
Yes.
Just have enough. I've heard people talk about travel with your tanks empty so you don't use fuel, but it's like, I think safety first, have enough water for at least a couple of days. Obviously, depending on where you are, but if you break down in the middle of nowhere, you don't know how far help is. Always make sure you've got plenty of water.
Yes. And if people want to see what you're doing online for your business as you're traveling around, where can they find you?
On my Facebook, which is Rose G Pengilly, and
Mhm.
I have a link tree there with all the different links to my websites, and that's probably the
Okay.
easiest.
Yeah. I'll pop all that all in the show notes anyway.
Rose G
And,
Pengilly is the one. There is a Rose Pengilly, but that's my private sort of Facebook. So it's
okay,
Rose G Pengilly.
I'll put a link to that so you're easily found.
Thank you.
And I'm sure there'll be a lot of solo travelers that would like to get in contact with you and ask some questions.
Yes, I do. I'm on a few of the Facebook groups, and every now and then I post a map of where I've been and tell a little story, and I do get a lot of people asking me
Yeah, you would.
questions and commenting how they would love to do that one day, but they're a bit afraid or just getting information, getting courage. I encourage
Yes.
everyone just to do it, really.
Yeah. And there's also all that chatter from friends and well-meaning friends and family as well that I think trips up a lot of people.
Oh, yes. Yes. My parents would have been petrified for me if they were
Yeah.
still alive, I'm sure.
Different perspectives, hey?
Yes.
Thanks very much for joining me today. That was great. And
My
I'm
pleasure.
sure a lot of people would have got a lot of information and great value out of your answers. So thanks very much.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.